frost came early and it stayed without permission. Killed the last thing growing by the south side of the shed. I got a bottle with 2 fingers left and no ambition, and a chair that faces nothing but the wall lid. There's a coffee tin and nails I never got around to using. A window latch that's been broke since the fall of '09. Some men spend their Sundays fixing what they're losing. I spend mine watching grease go cold on the burner line. What the frost keeps, it don't give back easy. What I signed away, I signed in full. The devil don't collect from men like me, too greasy. He just waits outside and lets the cold do all the pull. I buried something out past where the fence line ended. Don't recall exactly, bottle helps with that. The pact was made in August, poorly worded, badly tended. He got what he was after and I'm fine with where I'm at. Rust on the coffee tin, rust on the window frame, a shirt on the nail that belongs to no one now. I used to say her name out loud, I quit that game. Some habits drop like frost, you don't decide, they just go somehow. What the frost keeps, it don't give back easy. What I signed away, I signed in full. The devil don't collect from men like me, too greasy. He just waits outside and lets the cold do all the pull. I don't want the green, I want the same frost that's always been. The rust on the tin, the shirt on the nail, the bottle with 2 fingers and the cold on the trail. What the frost keeps, he waits outside, cold does the rest. Does the rest. Yes, I'm a name in whiskey on a crossroads stone. The devil read it twice and said you're on your own. He didn't take my hand, just nodded, lit a smoke. Said men like you don't need me, that's the hardest joke. Bottle on the table with the label peeled off, a chair with 3 legs and a window that don't close. I've been cold so long, the cold don't register. I just sit and watch the grease go hard on the stove. I don't repent a single goddamn mile. I walked this road crooked and I walked it in style. The whiskey's gone brown, the wood's gone to rot. I'll take what I earn. name on the wall I put there with a knife. Not out of anger, just to prove she was my wife. The rust ate half of it, the damp ate the rest. Some things don't last, and I knew that I confessed to nobody, nothing, just the bottle and the dark. I shook the devil's hand and left without a mark. He got the better end, but I don't hold it still. Some debts feel right like gravel going downhill. I'm still here. On the stove and cold in early April. I've been eating bread and whiskey since the thaw. There's a handprint on the door frame, hers, not mine. Last thing she left that I haven't found a reason to ignore. The wood pile's low and I ain't splitting nothing. The axe handle cracked sometime back in the fall. Some men went hard and come out the other side of something I just went or didn't come out at all. Grease and bone, that's what's left of the dealing. Green, that's what a man settles for. I signed in whiskey on a stone without kneeling, and I'll stand the same way when they come to the door. I met the devil at a rest stop off the county line. He was leaning on a fence post with a cigarette gone dead. Said you look like something left out past its time. I said you drove a long way just to tell me what I read. He laughed, not warm, not cold, just like a man who's done this enough times that the novelty went flat. I shook his hand and wiped my palm on my jeans and walked back to the truck and didn't once look back at that. Grease and bone, what a man settles for. I signed in whiskey on a stone without kneeling, and I stand the same way when they come to the door. I don't want the mercy, I don't want the hymn, I want the axe handle, I want the cold and the dim. the handprint on the door frame, the bread and the pork, grease and bone got me here. Grease and bone to the door, grease and bone. Novelty went flat, didn't look bad. Grease and bone. Novelty went flat, didn't look bad. I poured the last good whiskey in a dead man's glass. Sat down at the table, let the morning come and pass. The grease on the burner went hard sometime in March. My shirt's been on 3 days and it's stiff as river starch. There's a boot by the door that don't belong to me no more. A name worn in the floorboard by the foot that used to pace. I watched the devil drive by slow on the gravel road out front. He didn't stop, just looked and kept a steady pace. This is the last good pour I'll ever make. No prayer in it, no mourning, no mistake. I tilted every bottle till the bottle had no more. This is the last good pour. The pact was signed in August on a piece of paper bag. The ink ran where my thumb bled and the crease went jagged. He said, I'll come for you on a Sunday, cold and plain. I said, bring the quiet with you, leave the rest of it. Rust on the sink, rust on the nail above the door. Rust on the photograph I turned face down last spring. Some fight was coming, I just said another glass and waited like a man who's done with everything. This is the last good pour I'll ever make. No prayer in it, no mourning, no mistake. I tilted every bottle till the bottle had no more. This is the last good pour. I don't want the crossing, I don't want the word. I want the glass I emptied and the quiet afterwards. The rust on the sink edge, the gravel in my coat. Some men go out singing, I'll go out by road. Last good pour, he drove by slow, left the quiet with me. Tab's been running since I was 23. Whiskey and bad judgment, that's what made of me. I settled once with a man at an unmarked gate. He said, come back when you're ready. I said, I'll make you wait. Grease on the counter from a pan I never cleaned, a window cracked since March, and a door that won't stay keen. I've been sitting in this chair so long it holds my shape. Some men leave a mark on things, some just leave a scrape. Paid in full, every crooked, dirty mile. Paid in full, in gravel, rust and bile. I don't want the mercy, and I don't want the gain. I'll pay what I owe, and I'll pay it straight. There's a coat on the hook with a smell almost gone, a ring in the drawer that I look at come dawn. The whiskey don't soften it, never did, never lied. It just keeps me level on the wrong side of drive. I made a pact at a crossroads south of Prentice town. The other party nodded and he never wrote it down. Said men like you don't need a paper, you won't run. I shook on it and walked back toward the dying sun. Paid in full, every crooked, dirty mile. Paid in full, in gravel, rust and bile. I don't want the mercy, and I don't want the gain. I'll pay what I owe, and I'll pay it straight. I don't need the river, I don't need the word, I need the same silence I already heard. The cold and your pain, I built what I built here. In whiskey and stain, paid in full. He never wrote it down. I didn't run. I poured the last of August down a storm drain in the heat. Shook hands with something at the crossing of two dirt streets. He didn't ask for much, just pointed where to go. I've been walking that direction every year since, more or less. Whiskey in a mason jar with someone else's name. The label's half torn off, I don't recall the game. Cold grease on the burner, one boot by the door. I stopped replacing things when I stopped keeping score. Got the easy half, I kept the rest. The broken gears, the gravel roads, the hollow chest. I don't ask for the ledger, and I won't balance out. That's the only honest thing I know without a doubt. I said in June, been there through 3 seasons like a brown impatient wound. I talked to her in August, not out loud, just in my head. Some conversations only happen after someone's dead. The whiskey don't lie to me the way the daylight does. It tells me what I am instead of what I was. Soot on the window screen, rust on the hinge. I earned this kind of quiet, every splendor, every saint. The devil got the easy half, I kept the rest. The broken years, the gravel roads, the hollow chest. I don't ask for the ledger, and I won't balance out. That's the only honest thing I know without a doubt. Got the easy half, I kept the ring still here. I've been running a tab at a bar with no name on the door. Whiskey on credit since the winter I turned 44. The man behind the counter never asked me what I owed. He just kept on pouring and I kept on down the road. There's a crack in the ceiling I've been meaning to address. A pair of boots by the radiator gone to mold. Some men leave things tidy, I leave things like the rest. A life half unpacked and a story half been told. The tab runs dry and the man won't settle, and the gravel in my pockets don't pass for gold. I shook his hand at a crossing, no use retelling. I knew what I was buying when I let the deal get sold. The devil came by Thursday in a truck with the headlights off. He sat outside 3 hours, then he left without a word. I watched him from the window through the glass, all cold and soft. Pour 2 fingers in a jar, one for me, one left unstirred. There's a photograph still in the frame, but turned against the wall. A ring I took off some time back and set beside the sink. Some men keep their reasons, I just let the reasons fall. Like gravel off a shovel at the edge of what you think. I knew what I was buying when I let the deal get sold. I don't want the ledger, I don't want the cross. I want the same Thursday before he drove across. The jar with one finger, the ring by the sink. That's all I was keeping. That's all I could think. Tab runs dry. He sat 3 hours, left without a word. Been on the wrong end of right since I can remember. Whiskey in the breakfast cup ash on the sill. The devil came by sometime late in November, said you still owe me. I said you'll get your fill. Coat hung on a nail, it's pulling from the plaster. Boot heel worn to nothing, on the same side always. Some men slowed down, I just kept going faster, till the road ran out on one of these cold Sundays. I don't regret the miles or the mud on my hands. I don't regret the fire or the ash where it stands. The whiskey was honest, the only thing there was. I'll meet what's coming, same as I met what does. There's a burn mark on the table from a glass left too long. A name in the plaster I put there when things still went wrong. The grease in the pan went cold sometime in early spring. I've been eating standing up, don't need a plate for anything. I signed what I signed at a crossing south of nowhere. The ink was part whiskey and part blood from my thumb. He folded it careful, like it mattered what was in there. I walked back to the truck and I drove the long way home. I don't regret the miles or the mud on my hands. I don't regret the fire or the ash where it stands. The whiskey was honest, the only thing there was. I'll meet what's coming, same as I met what does. I don't want the crossing, I don't want the calm. I want the burn mark, I want the song. I already wrote in whiskey and rust, that's the only gospel a man like me trusts. Wrong end to right. He folded it careful, I drove the long way.